Tonight's guest has been a longtime friend of the show. His name is Steve Scott, and he is with the band The Word 66, and they've released a new track entitled Tell Me that he's going to tell me about. And you know, the last time we interviewed him, he was looking for that perfect love, and we're going to find out how that's going as well. So stick around. There you are.
What's up, Glenn? How's it going, my friend?
Steve, it is so good to have you back on.
It is my pleasure to always be here. And like you said, with a true friend that we've known each other for a while now, man. And
We have. And, you know, it's not that we just talk to each other when we bring you on the show. We email back and forth and stay in touch. And you're always keeping me updated on what's going on with The Word 66. And hey, you know, as I said just a few moments ago, the last time we had you on, you were looking for that perfect someone. How is that going?
You know something? I have something to confide that I have found my Eve.
All right. Wow.
I have found the girl that I totally believe, and we both believe. We're both Christians. We met at church, and we do both believe that God wants us together because we are so perfect together. And we laugh about the things that we have in common that like nobody has in common. And you know, God has finally brought that special person into my life. And I get to smile these days, man. I feel happy.
That is so exciting to hear. I'm going to have to share that with Jennifer, who was on the show with us, and her husband as well, so that they know the good news. But let's talk about the new track that's been released. It's entitled Tell Me. So tell me about this song. What's inspired it, and what is it about?
A lot of the stuff I write, I think, are things that I go through in my personal life as well. You know, breaking strongholds and unanswered questions, and so much time spending in prayer and silence and trying to figure things out. So in this song, it's about a person that's tired of all the deceptions. Like the lyrics say, I'm tired of all the deceptions. I seek only the truth. There is only one way. Don't take me for a fool. So, of course, that one way is Christ. And if you look at the cover artwork of this song, you know, it's a guy that, you know, you could see that he's breaking out. He's getting out of his shell. He's releasing all the strongholds, and he's basically telling God, I am ready, and please let me know what it is that I need to do and what you need me to do.
Well, let's take this song for a spin. This is Tell Me by The Word 66.
There is only one way, don't take me for a fool.
As I was listening to that track again, I pick up on different things each time I listen to different tracks. But as I was listening to this, Steve, this sounds like a prayer. It sounds like you're praying in this song. It's not just stating things, but you're asking God for that guidance and to be kept in the truth. It really sounds like a prayer to me.
Thanks. Yeah, in a way, it kind of is. Like I said, a lot of the things that I write about are things that I go through in my life, and yeah, things that I'm fighting on my end as well.
Yeah, that's what makes it real. And I love how you come right out of the gates in this song. I've had enough of deception. I seek only the truth. And you're an artist, and artists are in tune with what's going on in the world and in people's lives. There's a lot of empathy that's there. Can you share with us how you see people being deceived in the world today?
I think deception is everywhere, Glenn. You got telemarketers, um, excuse me, you got scam artists, you got the mainstream media, you got the social media. We're talking about, earlier about, the whole dating thing and like
Yeah,
dating profiles, even. If you've ever been single and on dating sites, I mean, there's so much deception. I mean, the person that you're meeting is really not the person that actually shows up, you know, as well. That's a whole nother story. People lie to get what they want from you as well. Manufacturers putting out products that are environmentally um, unsound, and things that they know that are harmful for people, and snake oil. You know
yeah,
what I mean? Where people are actually selling stuff that they know that doesn't work, but they're selling it to you anyway. So, hopefully you'll buy it, and, they'll get another sucker to make them rich. Um, Religious deception.
yeah. That's huge.
Yeah, I mean, there's the false prophets, the people that try to tell you things that aren't true, and try to again deceive you in so many ways.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really easy. And here's the word for the day. And my friend Poe's going to bring it up at the bottom of the screen. It is bamboozled. We live in a world where we can get bamboozled. And yeah, he's got his tinfoil hat on so that he doesn't
I
get
love it.
bamboozled. Yeah, there it is. The tinfoil hat. And there's your buddy. Look, I mentioned Poe, and your dog shows up in the screen too. That's cool. But I was doing a study on deception this morning in the word, and deception is actually mentioned 163 times throughout the entire Bible.
Really? Wow.
163 times. And if you think about that, that shows you how prevalent it is. And I'm going to say this, and it's not to make people conspiracy theorists, but most of the world that we live in is based upon a lie and a deception. It's a web of deception. It's all smoke and mirrors. It's not really the truth. It may be close to the truth. And a lot of times we just believe what we want to hear anyway. And that's why it's so easy to get suckered into deception. That's what I believe personally. But there is so much deception, and you have to think about it. Sin was brought into the world, this fallen nature that we have, because of deception. You know, the
Yeah.
serpent deceived Eve and said, "Hey, if you eat of this tree over here, you're not really gonna die. That's not what God said." And she saw the fruit of the tree and thought it looked good. It was like, okay, yeah, I'm going to believe what the serpent says and what God, not what God is saying. So, deception
Right.
is so prevalent in our world. And Steve, from your perspective, do you think people in general are getting really fed up with the deception in the world? Is this a sentiment that you think the majority's feeling right now?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I mean, like you're saying, there's so much deception in this world. It's really hard to trust anybody these days. You
Yeah.
know, there's a lot of people that, I don't have like a really huge um circle with me, because I I don't trust a lot of people, man. And it's kind of like I'm very selective on who I allow into my life and who I tell my personal things to. So I think that trust again is something a lot of times that you need to earn. and it's really hard to find the people that you can trust in. And it brings us back to the fact that you have to trust in the Lord and let the Holy Spirit guide you.
Yeah, we have to be very careful with who we become very close to, what we let in our ears, what we believe, what we see. We have to test the spirits to see if they're of God, to see if it's of truth. And it's so important today in this world of deception. I know that people get caught up in great YouTube videos of, oh, the deception of this, and, oh, the deception of this. Well, there's so many deceptions. It's just completely exhaustive, and you're never going to really figure them all out. And it's kind of like you in some of the agencies that deal with money and counterfeit money, the way that they learn what real money is and how to spot a counterfeit is they study real money. They don't spend time focusing on counterfeits. They focus on, this is what real money feels like, looks like. And that's what we need to do as believers is we don't really need to be caught up in trying to figure out all of the web of deception because it's so vast, but we need to stick to the word of God. We need to stick to 66 books in the Bible. Word 66.
Yes, yes. There's only one way. Don't take me for a fool, like it says in the song. That there is only one way, the way of Jesus, and we do our best to try to be, as close as we can. But of course, we all fail. But in our hearts, we want to be more like Jesus.
Yes. Yes. It's a growth process. None of us is perfect, and none of us is going to be perfect until we meet Jesus face to face. Well, let's go back to the numbers because we've talked about 163 times deceptions mentioned in the Bible, the word 66 because there's 66 books in the Bible. And your new EP that's coming out that this track that we just listened to is entitled 37 Miracles. What are 37 miracles?
It is documented that Jesus performed 37 miracles in his lifetime. But of course, he's performed a ton more, but stuff that's actually documented. So I remember being at a sermon one time, and the pastor mentioned that there were 37 miracles that Jesus performed, and I thought that was so cool, man. I didn't know that, so I got out my phone and I just kind of I made a little note and said, okay, 37 miracles. I got to write a song about that someday, and it came time finally. It took a while. It takes a while sometimes for me to get in that writing mode for certain things. And I remember pulling out my phone and going, 37 miracles. So I wrote the song about that. And in the song, I list about 15 of the miracles that he performed as well. And I just love this track, man. I think it's really cool.
Were you a numbers and math guy in school? I mean, there's so many numbers that are involved. And one of the things that I've just been fascinated with about the Lord is everything is mathematical. It's numerical. Were you into math?
No, not at all. I was a dummy, man. It's funny because I can remember, like, I think up until about fourth grade or so, I mean, I was pretty smart, I thought, in math. And then all of a sudden, I don't know what happened. I don't know if I hit my head or I fell or something, because all of a sudden I was like, numbers, you know, and ever since, I mean, I'm just horrible with numbers and figuring things out, like business wise, every quarter you got to do your quarterlies, and you got to put your numbers together and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, I know I'm doing it wrong, and I should hire somebody to do it for me. But I like to do things myself. And
Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna probably get
I
in
think
trouble.
you're better at math than you would think because really music is math. It's a form of math. So I really believe that there's more of a gifting of that in there. I was the same way in school. I struggled through math. I really did. I about failed high school algebra, barely passed geometry,
Me
and
too.
yeah. But
Me
it's
too.
really strange because I see the Lord speaking to me through numbers all the time. So I think maybe I was walking in a deception that I'm not as good with numbers as I thought I was. So I'm probably better at it. I don't know if that came out right, but I'm probably better with numbers than I actually thought I was. So it's really interesting how God speaks to people. I was in one of your emails that you sent to me. There was some changes in the band, some things that have changed up. Can you tell us a little bit about those changes?
I think the main change was our vocalist. So we had Brian Torres was a vocalist for the first couple of EPs, and he did a great job, and we loved working with him. He had a kind of a distinctive voice. I thought, it's kind of like when you heard his voice, you knew what band it was. So that was
Yeah, it's the
cool.
word 66. Yeah.
Yeah. But we found this other guy. I was jamming with a couple of guys, and they were telling me. I mentioned to him, about the possibility that maybe we'd like to go have a little bit more of a heavier sound. And so they mentioned about this guy Carlos Zima, and I found out about him. I listened to some of his tracks, and guy's got a great voice, man. And I contacted him, and turns out that he's a major Christian himself. And I sent him the music, and he absolutely loved it. He loved the project. He said, "I'd love to be part of it." And we were working with him a little bit, and we brought him in the studio, man. And I think he makes the sound a lot heavier, and just love his voice, man.
Yeah, it does. You do have a crunchier and heavier sound from some of your previous tracks. And Tell Me, I really like that. And from what I understand, too, Danny Miranda of Blue Oyster Cult and Queen also collaborated with you on this album. Yeah, Don't Fear the Reaper. Yeah, Blue Oyster Cult and Queen. He worked with them. He's working with you now on your albums. Can you share with us what he's been doing with the Word 66?
Danny has he did the last record for us also, Rock and Roll Preaching, and he's doing this new one, 37 Miracles. He's somebody that we lived in the same area as well. You both grew up in New York and Long Island, and so we had run into each other here and there, kind of thing. We've recorded in the same studios, and it just so happens that he's a really good friend of the engineer slash producer who worked on our records, and he had suggested from the last record also that we get Danny to come in and do the bass parts because it would add so much to the track. And Danny's one of the best bassists out there. He's like a super nice guy. He's a great player, man. His finger style and phrasing on the bass parts is absolutely amazing. So we sent him the new tracks, and he loved it, man. So we're very proud to have him back to do this as well. Maybe a little bit later on when we tour, there is a possibility that maybe he might come out with us as well.
Oh yeah, you're going to have to definitely keep us posted on a tour, and if you could come by the way of the southeast of the United States, that would be
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, love
Especially the
to.
South Carolina. And when can we expect the EP 37 Miracles to be available?
That's a good question. So we recently signed a contract with PCM Management, which is Paul Crosby, and Paul was the drummer for Saliva for like 20 years, 25 years or so.
Okay.
So we got a hold of him, and he loved our music too, and wanted to represent us. So we signed a contract with him. So what he wants to do is he wants to release maybe another single or two before we actually release the full EP. Really excited about it, man, because to be honest with you, and I probably shouldn't even mention this, but that song "Tell Me," I believe is the weakest track on the CD.
Okay.
And our manager Paul thinks it's the strongest track on the CD. So he's the guy, man. So that's what we hired him to do. So we're going to release that one, and the next song is probably going to be this power ballad called "I'll Be There." Which
Oh yeah, that's something that the Word 66 does very well is power ballads. That's like your wheelhouse. I think Paul from Saliva has some connections to South Carolina, if I'm not mistaken. I could be, but I think he's got some connection to South Carolina. I'll have to look that up. But that'd be really cool if you guys came out on tour, came to the Southeast, especially the South Carolina area, and we are definitely looking forward to the full EP, 37 Miracles. How about the power ballad? When's that coming out?
So probably about 2 months.
Okay.
And it's a song called "I'll Be There," and it's basically about God talking to someone, just saying that I know that life isn't easy, but you just need to know that I'll be there with you every step of the way. It's
Okay.
beautiful.
Okay.
And love it.
Looking forward to it. Looking forward to it. Steve, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Glenn. It is always a pleasure and an honor to be here with you, man.
Yes, and this is Steve from The Word 66. Look out for their new EP entitled 37 Miracles. And until next week, everybody, peace out and rock on.
Lithoscry.com